Hi there. Here we have the phone all put back, and this is like part 2. I've never done these in sort of 1s and 2s, but anyhow, I'm trying to think what to say. It's a phone which I'm not too impressed with. I'll tell you the back on there. Paint applied for it. N2020, and A refers to the bell impedance. It's supposed to be 1000 ohms. This one was actually 800. Repaired the dial. It goes round, yes. As I say, these phones, I wrote a little bit of a spiel. It was in about the 1970s these came out, and the idea was to produce a much cheaper phone than the 706s or the 746s. But cut a long story short, the general public who were using these phones didn't like them, and they were a failure. One company did use these, that was Telephone Rentals, on a very basic job. No induction coil and no power regulation. So these ended up being sold off through surplus suppliers. They were a complete failure. Now, my own opinion is more or less the same. The first pictures I showed was of the innards, a very basic dial, all the bits on a printed circuit board. The dial plugs straight into the board. The cradle springs, or the little sports that holds the receiver on, cleverly designed. There's one thing I can say about this: the design is quite clever, but not very good. As I say, they thought they looked cheap. It skates about as you dial. It's got a bottom, but the feet obviously don't hold it down very far. So all in all, a failure. It don't look that bad actually. It is an unusual shape. I think the main things that let this down is the dial, which is very, in my opinion, very crude. It's a trigger type dial, but it's not nowhere near as good as the dial on the 706. And very plasticky. The bell is one of these unicoil jobs which we've come across before, which is used on some 746s, that you can alter the sound of the bell or cut it right out. The bell on this one, you can do the same. So not too bad. The transmission is terrible. I can hardly hear stuff on here. So I will be having a little look at this phone in detail inside. Just find out why it's not really working well. It rings out okay. That part's no problem. It dials out okay. But as regards hearing things, I know I'm not that good at hearing, but this phone is so faint, it really is faint. So I'll have a little look at that tomorrow, but so I won't bore you anymore. I'll put this up, and is an example of a cheapo phone. When I was putting it back, I had a bit of a job getting the cradle stuff fixed in again. But nevertheless, I got it in, and it seems to be okay. But let's have a look and see if I can find why it's so faint. It was a case of having a look in the handset, which I haven't taken apart yet. So that was that. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Any questions, leave questions. I'll try and get back to you. Once again, many thanks. Thank you.